Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Merkakwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all Akyam for pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. I'm going to go in on 2 Samuel 7 and start at the first verse today. This is Shabai from GMS Denver. It says, "And it came to pass when the king sat in his house, and Yahawah had given him rest round about from all his enemies, that the king said unto Nathan the prophet, See now, I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of the Most High dwelleth within curtains." All right. And Nathan said to the king, Go do all that is in thine heart, or all that is in your mind, right? For the Yahawah is with thee. And it came to pass that night that the word of Yahawah came unto Nathan, saying, Go and tell my servant David, Thus saith Yahawah, Shalt thou build me an house for me to dwell in? Whereas I have not dwelt in any house since the time that I brought up the sons of Israel out of Egypt, even to this day, but have walked in a tent and in a tabernacle. All right. And in all the places wherein I have walked with all the children, the sons of Israel, spake I a word with any of the tribes of Israel, when I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, Why build ye not me a house of cedar? So, like, yeah, I'm not moving the verses on the screen. Verse 7 or verse 8. Now therefore, so shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith Yahawah of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people, over Israel. All right, because he exalted David. And that's what Yahawah does. He humbles and he exalts, right? Let me see real quick. But that's what he does. He had taken David from that humble young boy, a sheep herder, you know, and he made him king over his chosen people. So Yahawah, that's not a small thing for, or I should say, that's not a big thing for him to do. He can do anything because he's Yahawah, right? Let me see. But that's the power of our Lord Yahawah. He can take somebody from a low position and put him in a very high position. And that's what he's going to do with his prophets, his servants, right? Because we're not considered the nobles of Babylon, right? No, the majority of us are lowly men that are just insignificant in this society, you know. But it's Yahawah who has the power, who's going to exalt us in due time, right? But that's what he did with King David. Verse 9. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and have cut off all thine enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are on the earth. All right? So he made him basically gave him fame and fortune and power, right, as the king of Israel, you know. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them that they may dwell in a place. Will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wickedness afflict them anymore, as before time. All right, and so Yahawah is giving them a future prophecy, right? It says, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. neither shall the sons of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time, right? Let's get a quick precept. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him. All right? So this is not talking about in David's time, while he's, as he's living in this lifetime, but it would be in a future prophecy as we go on to read. He's talking about, really he's talking about after the second coming of Yahawah. Because it wasn't even going to happen, this prophecy that he said where they won't be afflicted anymore. Because right now we're still afflicted, right? You still got, I've got that app that notifies, what is it called? World Star. And you constantly seeing Jake getting fucked up on World Star, man. Whether it's by each other, whether it's by the police, the modern day Roman soldier. So this is talking about a future prophecy. It's not talking about during David's time or even his son Solomon's time, And to this day, like I say, Jake is still afflicted, man. We're still getting fucked up by these Edomites, man. 2 Samuel 7 and 11. Let's keep reading. And that since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people, Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies, also Yahawah telleth thee that I will make thee an house. Right. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Okay. So this is that prophecy. He's telling David, it's gonna, the house is gonna be built. He's gonna build a house, but it's gonna be an eternal house. His kingdom will be eternal. And he tells him his seed because, because Yahawah is the seed of King David, but in his direct seed. King David's direct seed was King Solomon. All right? So we're going to read this right here in verse 13. Well, let me read 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. So that would be King Solomon. But guess what? We're going to read 13. It shows you that he's talking about a future prophecy and not his son Solomon. It says, he shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Right? So King Solomon, when you look into the history, he ruled for 40 years in Israel. Right? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that verse. It's because, it's not talking about King Solomon. It is talking about King Solomon, but that's why we know that Yahawah came back King Solomon came back as Yahawah in his reincarnation, his regeneration. All right? Because remember, let me read this again. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Right? So King Solomon's kingdom was not forever. It tells you in 1 Kings 11 and 42. It tells you in the middle of your screen, in the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And then it says, and Solomon slept with his fathers, meaning he passed away, he died. So that's not forever. 40 years is not forever. So this is how, it's telling you that it's a clue. You have to have a spiritual eye, and the Spirit has to be dealing with you for you to understand that this is talking about Yahawah. Because Yahawah's throne is the kingdom that's going to be forever, right? Let's get this precept real quick. Let me see. And then I'm going to grab this real quick too. Because this shows you that if you look at the family seed line, let's see. But it tells you, if you go through Matthew 1 and you go down the genealogy of Yahawah, you got right there in verse 6, it says, "And Jesse begat David the king, and David the king begat Solomon of her that had been the wife of Urias." And you keep going down the line. I'm not going to read all of these names, but this is the generation, the genealogy from all the way from Abraham to Yahawah, right? Which David was right there in verse 6, King David. You go down all the way to verse 16. "And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, whom was born Yahawah, who is called Hamashiach." Right? So it's Yahawah. When we go back to 2 Samuel 7, oh, I should have went to 7 and 13. "He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the sons of men." Right. So this is talking about Solomon, because this is, you have to have a spiritual eye to see this, right? It says in 14, "I will be his father, and if he shall commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men." So Solomon was never chastened. He did commit iniquity, right? Because he's setting up altars to the gods of the women that he was dealing with in his older age, right? That's how the scriptures tell it. So he was committing that iniquity. So he says, if he committed iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the men, the sons of men. So guess what? This prophecy did become fulfilled, but it didn't happen in King Solomon's lifetime, because it happened during the time of Yahawah. That's when he got chastened. So that's what we always say when shit happens to people. They're like, "Oh, that person's such a good person. Well, I don't know why this happened to him." Well, guess what? We're still paying for sins from our past lives. So Yahawah, when he got put on the cross, really, he was, part of it was because, his iniquity when he was as King Solomon. And people people who don't believe the truth are going to have a hard time receiving that, because they've always been taught that Yahawah, and Yahawah, it was perfect in his lifetime. But we know about the reincarnation, regeneration. So he did commit iniquity as Solomon. Even though that was a different body, a different flesh, it was the same spirit, the same soul. Let's see. Let me get this real quick. Revelation 11:15. "And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven," 11 and 15, Revelation, "saying, The kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever." And the Hamashiach is Yahawah. So this is that kingdom that he was going to establish forever what we read about in 2 Samuel 7 and 13. All right? And then it says, you got to ask yourself, did King Solomon get chastened with the rod of men, or did he get chastened with the stripes of the children of men? And the answer is no. It wasn't until he was regenerated, reincarnated as Yahawah that he was chastened by the rod of men. Okay? It says, but my mercy shall not depart away from him as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever. And we just read, Yahawah is the one whose kingdom establishes forever. Okay. Verse 17. And I'm going to stop at 17. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. So Nathan was a prophet. He knew what he was saying. He knew what I just explained. He knew that Solomon would be King David's son. He knew that the throne will be established forever, which that prophecy hasn't fulfilled yet, right? There are some prophecies that have been fulfilled. There are some prophecies that still need to be fulfilled. And the one of the prophecies that's already been fulfilled is that King David's son Solomon was chastened with the rod of men and the stripes of the sons of men, but not until he came back in his reincarnation as Yahawah, because Yahawah was the one who went up on the cross and he was chastened by men. Because King Solomon, he wasn't even like his father was a warrior. King Solomon didn't even have to fight battles, because basically King David had held it down so good for him. And that's why King Solomon was able to build the temple, because he didn't have to go out and be a warrior in battle like his father David, because King David, his father, had sewed it up to the point where he had peace, he had rest. Let me see if I can get something on that. Okay, let's call on Yahawah. Let me see real quick. 1 Kings. I'll close out on this. 1 Kings 5 and 4. Ooh, that's beautiful. All right, I'm gonna start at 3. This is talking to about King Solomon. All right, it's just confirming what I just said. 1 Kings 5 and 3, it says, Thou knowest how that David my father could not build an house unto the name of Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawah, his power, for the wars which were about him on every side, until Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawah, put them under the soles of his feet. Just like I said, King David was that warrior. He was that warrior king that had to fight battles and make to the point where he had rest when his son Solomon was the king. It says, But now Yahawah my power hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrent. And behold, I purpose to build an house unto the name of Yahawah my power. And as Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawah, spake unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build an house unto my name. All right, so that's why King Solomon was the one who built up the first temple in Israel, right? So, just wanted to go in on this lesson real quick through the Spirit. It was brought out, the point was made. I hope it was edifying for the elect, but I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.